everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the debut, my brand new show, Me Powered with Rhonda. And this has been something that's been birthed in me for a few years now. So I'm so excited that it's finally here. Before we get started, everybody, make sure you share this. I'm going to share with you how to tune in right now because this is a brand new show. So everybody, Lady J is going to tell you how you guys can tune in.
All right. If this is your first time tuning in to the Me Powered show with Rhonda or JQL Radio, and you like to share with your family, friends, and followers on all the different ways that they can tune in, be sure to tell them to download the JQLM Radio app on their Apple or Android devices. You can also listen live to JQLM Radio on Amazon Alexa, TuneIn app, Stream a Simple Radio app, and a host of other platforms, of which you can find on our website, where you can also listen live at egoentertainmentnet.com. Also, don't forget to follow, like, and share us, Ego Entertainment Network and JQLM Radio, on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at JQLM Radio and at Ego Net. That's EGOENTNET. And on LinkedIn at Ego Entertainment Network. And for all of the different ways that you can tune in to follow Rhonda.
All right. You can catch me on YouTube at Rhonda L. Thompson. Also on Instagram at me.powered. That's a brand new page. And everybody knows me already as Rhonda T and ATL. That's still up and going live. And my Facebook page, got a brand new Facebook page too. I want y'all to follow me, join it, and like it. It's Me Powered. And then my personal one is at Rhonda Thompson. I'm also on LinkedIn at Rhonda L. Thompson, and we have a brand new website that's in the works. It's under construction right now, but I've got a landing page right now, but go ahead and save it anyway. It is mepowered.co. That's CO, not com. So I can't wait for you guys to join me, and we're going to build this tribe. And welcome, welcome, welcome to Me Powered with Rhonda. And remember, everything you need is already inside of you. All right, so now that we got all the particulars out of the way for the beginning and the introduction, I'm so excited for my debut show to have my very special guest. This is somebody that I just met, and I was just on her show the other day. Her name is Lena Cebula, and her story is incredible. First of all, January is National Human Traffic Awareness Month. So being that this is the beginning of the month and my very first show, I wanted to go ahead and honor everybody who has ever been involved in human trafficking. Now, her story, she is actually, I'm not going to just say survivor. She's an overcomer when it comes to human trafficking. And when you hear her story of triumph, I'm telling you, you're going to cheer, you're going to cry, you're going to be on your seats. And when you find out everything that she did, she's an author. She's got major things that she has done. And I want to go ahead and welcome Lena to the show. So Lena, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. So excited to be here.
All right. Now tell everybody where you reside right now.
Actually,
Where are you physically?
I'm in Canada.
Yeah. And we found out that you and I have something in common because I grew up my younger years in Buffalo, and we went to Ontario Place a lot in Canada, and you were very familiar with that. So we already had something in common, but you and I met each other through Misty Lane. She actually introduced us a while ago. So this is our first time actually getting to come together. And I'm so glad that you're here. Now, let everybody know where you are from, though.
Well, I was born and raised in Ukraine.
Okay. All right. And what was that like growing up in Ukraine?
Well, my parents really struggled in their marriage, and they became alcoholics and lost well-paid jobs. So at our home, the government turned off electricity and hot water for outstanding bills, and I was hungry all the time. And I was literally starving. So our home was infested with black mold, cockroaches, and mice, and struggle in poverty trying to survive.
Oh, wow. And I know that had to be hard, to just grow up there. And your story is such a magnificent story of triumph. Let everybody know I'll let you start where you want to start with your story, because it's a little fresh still. So where would you like to start with the background of your story?
Well, I think at the beginning, because I would like to show the contrast like before and after,
Okay.
because sometimes it's hard for us to understand the success the way the person feels, because when we see a success and story of overcoming, when you don't know what happened before, it doesn't have as much impact. So I would
Right.
like to tell you my story.
Okay. Go ahead. I would
All
love to
right.
hear it.
Well, you heard a little bit about my home, and I was raised in a home full of strangers as well, who brought booze and drugs, and with parents who did nothing to protect me. So I've become an easy target for those guys. Um, I was drugged and raped numerous
Mm.
times in the basement of my own apartment.
Oh,
When I
wow.
thought things couldn't get any worse, 1 month before my 15th birthday, I woke up with severe abdominal pain. Scared
Mm.
and confused, I actually realized I was in labor. I didn't know who her father was. I
Wow.
didn't know I was pregnant at all. So,
Wow.
yeah, my baby died 3 months later from
Oh, I'm so
health
sorry.
complications.
I'm so sorry
Yeah.
to hear that. And how old were you?
I just turned 15.
15.
Actually,
Wow.
I turned 15 months after she was born. And
Okay.
when the people were ready to celebrate New Year's Eve, I actually asked my friends to give her a proper burial. So I carried that
Wow.
casket in my arms
Oh
to
my
the
gosh.
cemetery, and my friends dig the hole in that frozen ground. And I buried my first child when I was 15 years old.
Jesus. Okay. Well, I know that that's hard to talk about, but I want to thank you just for your courage in sharing that, because when the rest of your story unfolds, it's truly miraculous, which is the name of this segment, which is the name of your book. And in honor of you, we've named this segment Miraculous, because although it started out in a rough way, it didn't end that way. And just you coming on here and talking about your story and sharing it is going to help so many people. So, first of all, kudos to you. I mean, just for your bravery,
Thank
Lena,
you.
because that's a lot, that's a lot to deal with. My oldest daughter's 15. When she was 15, she had her first son too. So I know what
Mm.
that's like, being that young, and being pregnant alone, let alone not being able to have the baby and stuff. And unfortunately, my oldest daughter's son got murdered on his 13th birthday. So
Oh
she
my
had to
goodness.
bury her son at
Oh,
13 with the casket. So I can identify with that somewhat. It wasn't right in the beginning, but that's a pain that you just don't ever expect to bury your child and stuff.
absolutely.
So that's where it started. Now let's go a little bit further, as far as how everything transpired, and because a lot of people have misconceptions. Well, actually, before you do that, let me do this, because I want to give you a break to get yourself together. Okay, I want to share some statistics that I looked up about human trafficking, because people don't realize it. And I remember when I was talking to you the other day, we had a great conversation, because people have this image of what
Mm.
trafficking is, and they don't realize how much it's happening and stuff. So I just want to share with people just a few statistics. And these are not even current statistics, guys. These are from 2019. So the statistics are higher now. All right. But around the world, there's an estimated 40.3 million victims that are trapped in what's called modern day slavery, including 24.9 million that are forced into labor and 15.4 million that are forced into marriage. Because there's all kinds of human trafficking, guys. It could be sexual, it could be for labor, it could, be for slavery. It could be all kinds of different things. And it says that 1 in 4 victims of modern slaving or trafficking are children. 71% of trafficking victims around the world are women and girls, and 29% are men and boys. And most people don't realize a lot of boys are caught into it as well. So, what was the avenue that you got caught into, and how did that transpire? And I want you to share your myth buster. I don't want to give it away, that you shared when you and I were talking.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what the myth and misconception sometimes we have, that you have to be like force and it have to be with violence. And I'm here to tell my story and to help people to recognize the red flags, because it's so much involved with manipulation and fear. And hear my story. That's how I end up, because of the my surroundings and the problems that I have with my family. But honestly, anybody can get into this trap, because they use the tricks and tips to lure um, people. I'm not even gonna say boys or girls, because
Right,
everybody, like, nobody's safe from it.
right.
And what happened with me, I just start using drugs and alcohol to meditate my pain, because I
Mhm.
suffer with depression and
Right.
anxiety, and my brain was tormented me after my daughter passed away.
Hmm.
And I was looking for heavy drugs, so I started using heroin, because it was better to be high than feeling worthless and hopeless, abandoned and broken.
Right.
And years went by, and I saw people dying around me or who went to jail. And desperate in despair, I sought out change, because I knew that I'm gonna end up in the cemetery. And then I met this lady, and she brought me to her house and offered me fancy coffee and sweets. And I
Hmm.
was so impressed. And she looked like a celebrity. She was beautiful and kind to me. And she told me that she would be able to find me a job, no specific, just a job. But
Hmm.
she was so wonderful that I felt safe. So
Yeah.
I just agreed without much thought, because I thought, oh my goodness, it's opportunity. Somebody
Mhm.
cares, somebody gonna help. And I thought I was eager to escape, so I said yes to whatever she asked me to do. And
Mhm.
her team went to work, and they cleaned me, they dressed me, and I was actually thinking what kind of work I'm gonna be doing. But I
Mhm.
wasn't even like 18 years old, 18 years old that time. And I was kind of naive too, you know. So, and I was drug addict for last 3 years. So I didn't even think about any red flags or anything like that. So still on heavy drugs, I vaguely remember an airport and how through I got through customs. I'll never know. But one morning I woke up hearing Muslim prayer, Allahu Akbar, ran out, and I was confused and terrified, because I was in a foreign country.
Oh,
Literally in
wow.
my mind, yesterday was winter and
Mhm.
today is summer. So I
Wow.
couldn't understand even like where I was, until later on I find out that this nice lady sold me into human trafficking.
Wow. Oh my God. Um, I mean, I cannot imagine, Lena, what that was like, waking up and realizing that this person that you trusted, this person that was nice to you, and you said a lot of key things. You know, a lot of people think, oh, this would never happen to me. Oh, I would recognize it. You know, and you and I had talked before. You know, if everybody has that image, like that movie Taken. It's not like that. You know, they lure you with you were telling me, especially when they're going after kids, you were sharing some of the ways that they lure, you know, kids. And it's once they get your trust, then you'll do anything. And what made you susceptible is your home that you were growing up in, because your home was full of so much hurt, so much despair, and then of course losing your daughter, you know, your baby. And that was too much to deal with. And so falling into addiction, that's a natural expectation because of your circumstances, because you just want the pain to stop, you know. And so I can't imagine what that felt like for you to realize that she literally sold you. um and I don't want to get too deep because I don't want to like bring up bad memories or anything, but I mean, could you, if you had to put that into words, what would you say that felt like?
Well, one word come to my mind, betrayal, because I was shocked,
Yeah.
but I think it took me a very long while to understand actually that I'm a prisoner and I'm a victim, because although it was a scary part, but it was a great for me because nobody was raping me and beating me.
Yeah.
And another thing that I want to point it out that about that movie Taken, it can happen, but
Mm-hmm.
most of the time the red flags, like honestly, like I went through customs by myself. So when you around people like that, you could think about the fact, how come this woman doesn't hold her own passport? Why somebody else speak for her? Like I
Mm-hmm.
have like I don't want you to be like paranoid and
Right. But that's
question
good tips.
everything.
That's
Just
good
be
things.
vigilant, because sometimes it's gonna be just submissive,
Mm-hmm.
or a person gonna be scared or paranoid because they use the basic human needs, like to be loved, to be
Mm-hmm.
taken care of, to
Mm-hmm.
be um, care for, and that's what they lure them, and then they pound it with the fear, then feel uh, fear, guilt, and condemnation all
Mm-hmm.
mixed of those emotions actually trapping the victim. Sometimes you don't need chains. That's gonna
Yeah.
be psychologically, they're
Yeah.
gonna make you to do what they want to do. Because honestly, after I end up in Egypt, I don't speak language, I'm in a foreign country. Of course, I gonna follow everything they
Right.
tell me to do.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah,
Wow.
it was.
Wow. That's incredible. And I know this hour is going to fly by, and we're already, can you believe we're already like 18 minutes into it? And I know we've got to take a commercial break. But when we come back, I want to pick up with, we laid the foundation of what happened and how you got into it. And when we come back, I want to start talking about the transition, how you found your way out of it. And then we'll end with what you're doing now. So, so guys, we will be right back with Lena Cebula talking about human trafficking and her miraculous escape and her miraculous story.
Hey, how you doing? It's me. That's right. It's me, TP Hearn. I'm going back to Indiana. That's right. I'm coming home. Indianapolis. I'm going to be there. Simply Serenity is doing it again. The Valentine's Day comedy show weekend. It's going to be off the chain February the 11th. Hosted by your boy Sweaty Hands. And I'm bringing a gang of comics with me. That's right, TP Hearn, February 11th. Serenity, Simply Serenity is doing it again. The Valentine's Day Comedy Jam.
Indianapolis, it's time to turn your New Year's resolution into a lifestyle. Get ready for Impactful Fitness presents Operation Move event. It's going down Saturday, February 5th, 2022 from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Spotlight Indy Event Center located at 5060 East 62nd Street, Suite 100. Tickets are only $20. Music, demos, vendors, snacks, live classes, networking, and more. A portion of the proceeds go towards the Move organization. Ready, set, go. Get your tickets right now at ImpactfulFitnessLLC.com. If you're tired of hearing the same music and content every 5, 10, or 15 minutes on air, then check out JQLM Radio for the realest, rawest, and most relevant variety of music, talk shows, and more. Start your days with a little bit of gospel and gospel rap from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All of my life, I've never known you to fail. You deliver me, 'cause all I seem to do is coming and breaking it down with that wicked style, man. We really be living it out, don't miss it.
Then get into some hot R&B.
What you doing? What you doing? Excited.
Some hip hop.
Falling in deep with the quicksand. Flag on my hand, no quick run. I was packing on the pound, got my.
Once upon a time, and I heard that.
A little bit of pop.
Watermelon sugar, strawberries.
And some neo soul for the rest of the day. JQLM Radio, real, raw, and relevant.
Holds my hand.
All right. Thank you for that commercial break. And you guys make sure to support everybody that you see there supporting JQLM Radio. We're back now with my guest, Lena Cebula, and she was talking about her how she got into trafficking and what had happened that lured her in there. Now we're going to transition and talk about how you found your way out. At what point did you get the courage to actually leave, and what did you do to get out? What was the steps that you took, Lena?
Absolutely. Well, I was in Cairo, Egypt, and they actually forced us to crawl under the barbed wire, crossing the Israel border. And then in Israel, I've been sold into the brothel, and I was there for almost 2 years. Well, one of my bodyguards there actually shared gospel with me, and it's good news of God's love. And when my grandfather had a heart attack, he actually took me to Wailing Wall to pray to God. And I thought I don't deserve God's mercy because of what I've been doing, and I was overcome with the sense of shame and guilt and condemnation. But I prayed, and God answered my prayer and miraculously healed my grandpa, saving his life. And that's what plant a seed of faith. And I want to change my ways. And actually, like literally, in most cases, guys, like 100%, you never leave this kind of situation alive unless you have been rescued by the grace of God. Almost 2 years later, they set me free, and I was allowed to go home. And actually, I thought I'm gonna build a new life, but one of my bodyguards stole all of my possessions. Cheated me out of everything that I accumulated for these 2 years. And I had some money as well that I was sending to my aunt, thinking, you know what, this is gonna be my start. And my trustworthy aunt stole and spent all my money. So I come back, and literally I had another betrayal in my life, and I had whatever money I had. I went and I bought heroin, and I was on heroin again. So 2 years later, actually I was a right hand of number one drug dealer in my city, because then I had unlimited amount of drugs and money and influence, but it wasn't safe. So I have to get away, so I quit heroin twice.
Okay,
And
congratulations.
yeah, and you know what? Sometimes people don't understand that people don't quit heavy drugs not because they don't want to. Sometimes they just can't, because the body literally can shut down and kill you, because it's very horrible experience. Addiction, it's not okay. But you know what? Addiction, it's always surface problem of what's going on inside, and usually it's a coping or default mechanism for survivor mode. And that's what happened to me. So I didn't know what to do really. So I find people and sold myself into sex trade again, because my body was a commodity that I can use to just get out. And that's all I knew. This time they actually trafficked me to Canada, and I end up like again on different drugs here and alcohol. But here in Canada, I actually got the opportunity to start a new life, and I took it. I actually escape. I have people who help me. And there's another thing for you guys. if you want to get out, there will be opportunities and people to help you out. Never believe that you are alone. I know there's so much fear to leave, but there's organizations, there's people who gonna help you. And now, especially right now, this human trafficking awareness going so loud in all social media. So now it's not like 10, 15, 20 years ago when nobody talked about. Now this is topic and the issue that any government, any police, and lots of non-profits support and advocate for.
Right.
So you are not alone. Find one that trusted person who will help you to get out, because that's what happened to me. One person believed in me and helped me, and I actually get out. And I live in shelter, and I learned English from level 0 because I still was newcomer in this country. And then I applied and graduated from cosmetology school and became a hairstylist. And later on,
Wonderful.
actually, I own the hair salon too.
Do you?
Yeah, I own the
That's
hair salon. I
incredible.
closed my hair salon no, like maybe 9 months before COVID started, and
Okay.
I actually published my book
Mhm,
and start speaking and sharing my story.
mhm.
And it was very interesting because my salon probably wouldn't survive through
Right.
COVID. Not probably would not survive through
Right.
COVID, but I was online sharing my story and selling my book and helping survivors through the proceeds of my book as well. So
Okay. That's awesome. That's incredible. And you said so many things. And I want to go back just a little bit because there's so much to get in this 1 hour. And, and this show is such an important show because you and I have the same heart and we have kindred spirits, we found out. And this show is not about me. This show is not about you. This show is for that person that is literally in it right now, that does not know what to do, that does feel ashamed, that is
mhm,
feeling guilty, that is exactly where you were, and they don't have the answers. But now, because of social media, they can get the answers. And I want to tell everybody there is a national human trafficking hotline that you guys can call. And that's that number is 888 373 7888. So I'm going to say that again. And I probably should have given that to Lady J ahead of time so she could have put it at the bottom. But the number for the National Human Trafficking Hotline is 888 373 7888. And you mentioned about addiction, going back to heroin and doing different things and getting into alcohol. And, people don't realize how hard it is, and certain things you cannot just leave, like heroin. I'm an addiction counselor now, and I work in a methadone clinic. And if you were to stop heroin just right off the bat, your body would die, depending on how much. And people don't realize that a lot of times they'll be like, well, why don't they just stop? Why don't they just stop? It's dangerous to
mhm,
just stop. You have to wean yourself off, and you have to have a medical detox. And otherwise, and that's why a lot of people continue to use, because of the way their body feels, and they just want to get back up and get through it, and they don't realize how badly they're going to feel when they come down, because your body develops a tolerance. And then you had said that, when you got back, and when you thought you had your answer, now here comes your aunt who betrays you again. So that's a second time of betrayal. And so it's only natural that you would return to the coping mechanism that you knew to soothe the pain that you were in. So, and I'm so glad that, you shared all of that, because that transparency is just so important. And people need to know that, sometimes it's not just this easy exit. Sometimes you go back and forth. Sometimes you struggle with things. And the one thing that you said that I really loved was your body was a commodity. I did the same thing when I was at one point in my life. The only thing I had that was of value in my mind was my body. So I started working in a massage parlor. I started stripping. I started doing different things because of the things that I came through. I thought that's all that I was good for too. So it really does take a toll on you. Like if your life has that same repetitive message that you're not worth anything and that you're only used for sex or, different things. And, you actually start to believe that, and then you
Absolutely.
that out because that's what you think you're worth. And it really is it's hard to break from that because you were so right. That prison is not in chains. That prison is right here. And it's right here. You keep yourself bound, because you start to believe all that stuff about yourself. So I'm so proud of you, first of all, for leaving. All right, so now you're in Canada, and you had been introduced to God, and you had seen Him do different things in your life. So what changed in Canada? You had mentioned that organizations helped you, that somebody helped you. Was there a specific organization that helped you, or like what can people that are in this right now look for to find their way out?
Absolutely. Right now, I do support the organization that fights against human trafficking. But that time, it was just one person who believed in me. And what was interesting that you mentioned, um, we need to have a compassion for survivors. And when trauma happening, they probably gonna go in loop again and again and again until somebody or someone gonna come and say, let's change it, let's find the dreams. And that's what happened to me. And My friend asked me, what would you like to do for a living? There was like no dreams and hopes. I thought I'm not gonna be alive by that time, but I said to him, you know what, I like internet interior design and I like hairstyling. You know why I love the hairstyling? You're
Wow.
gonna be really shocked, because all my life I have lice and my mother shaved my head.
Oh,
Or can
wow.
you imagine me like in second and third grade without hair?
Yeah.
Or later on when I was older, she actually poured gasoline on my hair because that would kill the lice. And I rather have like my scalp burn and stink
Oh
for
my
a week
gosh.
than be bald when I was like
Yeah.
13 years old. So later on, I discovered that the ammonia in the box color will kill the lice too, and I can keep the hair, and I'm
Mhm.
not gonna stink like gasoline. So that's how I start color the hair,
Wow.
and that's how I end up. I really sometimes I end up green or blue or yellow, whatever it was. But I was so happy
Yeah.
that I still have hair
Mhm.
because it's a girl's and identity too, you know. So
Especially at that age. Yeah.
and plus, when you go stinky like that to school, everybody know that you have
Teases you.
lice.
Yep.
That was so horrible, and I was bullied for being and shaved and stinky and all that jazz. So literally, that's how I end up
Mhm.
loving different colors in my hair and end up for a very long time hairstylist and
Yeah.
actually been very good at it and really have passion. But I
Mhm.
think that's what changed my mental state when I enroll into that school, because now I have like means to have a living or make a living, you know, without thinking like what else I can do.
Mhm.
Because sometimes this is all I know, so I don't know what to do. I have no money. I don't know what to do. But this gentleman actually helped me to get through all these like loops and hoops and get through the school. And my scores was very high. I was in the high 90s. I passed my license exam, like
Wow.
200 question, $100, 2 hours exam. I passed like in one time,
Wow.
72%.
That's
70,
awesome.
yeah, 70 was passing grade. I
Mhm.
passed with 72. And
Awesome.
honestly, that's where it's started, because I start think like
You
I
could
want
do
to be
it.
normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
be normal. I want a 9 to 5. And you know what? Where I started in the salon as an assistant. So I have to clean the bathrooms and clean
Mhm.
all this stuff. And I
Mhm.
have to sucker up and deal with that because I had so much money went through my head through the time. But I
Yeah.
have to humble myself because I want to have a better life
Yeah.
and I want to make something better. And then end up few years later, very few years, like decades later, I actually opened my own salon. And that's what I want to tell you guys. There's always hope, you know, there always just come out, get out. you're gonna be helped, you can dream again, you can rebuild your life. It's gonna take some time because I still have like NPTSD and some of this stuff lurking around that I probably never gonna be done with. And I do all the therapies and counseling to figure out how to make this better. But the fact is that my life, it's like 9 in days right now. I honestly, even talking about my past, I feel like it was some movie that I saw. I don't really feel a touch or pain about it. And I know it might help someone. So I really want to share my story to encourage, inspire, and to give hope.
And you're doing such a great job. And we had a comment come up, one of the watchers had just typed up amen as you were speaking and stuff like that. So you're reaching people even now, Lena. So, again, thank you for your courage. And I'm so glad that you're speaking to somebody right now too. I'm a counselor and I talk to people all the time, and you mentioned something about, finding that gift, that something inside of you, something that you like and that you love, that there's a gift in there, and everybody has gifts. Everybody has talents. A lot of times they don't realize it, but when you're actually born with them, everybody's got something that they're good at, that people are going to come to you and ask you for, or something that you're passionate about, like you were passionate about hair and for the reason that you were passionate about it. And I usually, there's a example that I'll show a lot of my clients one time. Like, have you ever made a glass of chocolate milk, Lena, with syrup?
Yes.
Okay. So when you make a glass of chocolate milk with syrup, okay, tell me how you make it. What's the process?
Well, I pour the milk first, then I put tons of chocolate, then I mix, and then my kids fighting who get first glass.
Right. And that very good. Now, what would happen if you leave that chocolate milk on the counter for like an hour and you come back? What does it look like?
I don't know. It's never happened to me because
You never let it
in my house.
Well, if you would leave the chocolate milk there for about an hour or less, of course, what's going to happen, especially if you made it with syrup, is the chocolate milk isn't going to appear to be chocolate anymore. It's going to be white again, and all the syrup is going to go to the bottom. But if you want to drink it and you want that chocolate milk again, what do you got to do? You have to stir it back.
Yeah.
So the lesson in that is everything you need is already inside. All you got to do is stir it back up, because we're created and we're born with those gifts and with those talents. And sometimes we don't even know they're there until somebody stirs them up in us, or we find out from doing something that we like it and it's stirred up. But no matter how much time goes by, no matter how much, things happen in life and you think that it's too late or anything like that. Like, I'm a perfect example. I'm 55 years old and, I'm doing a lot of firsts in my life that were seeds that were planted before. It's never too late. All you got to do is tap into what's already inside of you, because like my tagline says, everything you need is already inside of you. All you got to do is tap into it, stir it up, and awaken it. Even if it lays dormant for a while, it will come back to life, and then you'll pick up exactly how you were supposed to. So I'm so glad that you found something that you love and that you were good at. We got to take another commercial break because I'm paying attention to the time here. But when we come back, I want you to share all about your book and what you're doing now, and give everybody all your social media stuff, because I know a lot of people are going to want to keep in touch with you. And I'm sure you're going to get a lot more bookings even from here once everybody. I know Jay is going to be having you on quite a few other shows too, but you're on mine first because you're my friend. You're my person first.
Thank you.
But
so
I'll share you. But we'll be right back. We're going to take a commercial break right now.
Hey there. If you can hear my voice, this is Pamela, host of Hospital the Tea, here to remind you that Ego Entertainment Network has a lot for your business. Listen, honey, you need to get with it. Ego Entertainment offers various services, media coverage, red carpet services, promo interviews on air. They offer meet and greet services, honey, not to mention other event services. You want to get in gear. Ego Entertainment is empowered greatness optimized. We're now booking and spots are going fast. Ego serves the United States and all event types, honey. So if you are opening a business, having a store opening, a restaurant opening, and you want some coverage, Ego Entertainment is the way to go. Call or text 317-886-0296 or go to egoentertainmentnet.com.
The inspiration for the songs because of you. The inspiration for the songs because of you. The inspiration for the songs because of you. You. It's for you. Can you sing it with me, baby? Can you sing it with me?
Book your next event at the Gallery Event Center. The 1,600 square foot space offers packages and a la carte services and items. All packages include tables, chairs, projector and screen, a 60-inch Apple TV, wireless microphone, a kitchenette, EV speaker system with surround sound, so no DJ is needed, cell phone charging station, and plenty of parking. Birthday parties, baby showers, bridal showers, pop-up shops, and more. Book now at thegalleryeventcenter.com or call 317-534-6399 or take a tour at 5852 East 82nd Street, Indianapolis, Indiana. The Gallery Event Center. Book your event with us today.
All right, thank you and welcome back. We are talking with Lena Cebula, and she's been just sharing an incredible journey of triumph, of courage, of bravery, of just miracle after miracle with her life story about being in human trafficking and how she found her way out. Now, what I would love for you to do now, Lena, is tell everybody where you are now. What's your life like now? And tell us about your book and everything about what you're doing now.
Absolutely. I want to talk about these gifts that you were talking about because I do believe God made me on purpose talking. Honestly, guys, if you would know me a little bit more than 5 minutes, I love to talk. I feel so comfortable. That's why I really love the hairstyling because I can share with my clients and really hear their stories as well. And was very interesting that I was working on my manuscript for 3 years prior my salon being closed, and it was, I call it my therapy with God because up to that time I never really look back in my past. But when I give my life to Christ in 2011, I start changing, and it was my path to healing. So when I was Christian for 5 years, I had really the strong desire to share my story. And I actually, in my imagination, guys, like I kid you not, I saw that it was master color and saw the banner with my face on it. And I had a panic attack because I didn't spoke about it for 20 years. So I was so scared that if people know who I am, they will judge me and reject me because now they know I'm a wife and a mother of three beautiful children. I'm a church going girl. I'm a fun and bubbly, and I'm in the meal committee. I do all this stuff. So they perceive me by the persona that they know and they see. So I was very, very scared that I have to look into my past. But plus, like, I was scared of pain. I was scared to look into back and get into that mindset and feeling. But you know what? It was amazing experience because I look back from new different perspective when I was already healed. and forgiven, and I was so stable in my relationship with myself, with my family, with God. So my to you advice, guys, like when you go through struggle and trouble, you need help. But when you are safe in a safe place and you're gonna know that it's the right time, look back, because honestly it's I thought this book gonna transform somebody else's life. I honestly did it for somebody else. I just want them to read my story, my testimony, and to see that hope, that God doesn't make exception, that it is possible to overcome adversity and be successful, and not only just successful in general, but body, mind, and soul, to have a beautiful family, to have dreams and hopes. It's just so amazing. I want you to read my story and think like, you know what? If it's possible for her, it's
Mhm.
possible for me. Because it happened to me too. From the stage, I heard one lady was sharing her story, and I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, she can say that from the stage, and she overcome, and she's blessed and successful. I have hope. And
Yeah,
that's what happened to me. I just want to share the story to empower someone, but I didn't want to be there. But
right.
it was such an amazing transformation in my mindset, because I had so much compassion for that old, like, well, old, like old times, but that little Lena. I had
Mhm.
compassion to my family. I reconciled with my father, with my family, with
Wonderful.
my mother. It have such an amazing confirmation for me how faithful God was to me.
Mhm.
I have so much gratitude that I'm alive and
Yeah.
well. When people was telling me that you're a survivor, I thought survivor is a person who went through war or some
No.
destruction or disaster. And
No.
then I Googled, and it say it's person who lived when other people died.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, so many people
Yeah.
died around me. And
Right.
now I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like I am survivor, and I have so much gratitude
Mhm.
for where I am now, how I'm feeling, how I'm thinking, how everything's going about my future. And without me looking back, it would not be the same, because I
Mhm.
honestly I block that in my mind. I block that, and I say, okay, now from this moment when I become a wife and a mother and Christian, this is gonna be my new life. So
Right.
that was my old life, and this is my new life. But
Mhm.
then writing this book, I realized, oh my gosh, this is my life. This
All
is
of it. Yeah.
one life, and that's what created me and built the character and who I am. And the fact that now I have any problems you can bring it to me, I can say I understand. And
Mhm.
it's huge, because I do believe God allowed us to go through struggles so we can have compassion for other people without judgment, without some misunderstanding or whatever misconception. You can say yes and understand. So
Mhm.
when I closed my salon, my book was published in 2019, and for the first time I share my story with people. It was 50 people in my own church, and I thought I was so scared, but since then it's been 2 years. People love on me, people care for me. Nobody left me, nobody rejected me, and they literally support me and love on me. And it was such a beautiful, eye-opening transformation that I thought it was like believe all these lies. That's another advice I want to give you guys. What you feel about that guilt, shame, and condemnation, people still gonna love you and accept you.
Yeah.
That's very important.
And I'm glad that you brought that up. And we're wrapping up. I can't believe how quickly this hour is going. How do people get your book?
Absolutely. You can get through my website. It's love and beloved, be with no e, dot com, or you can shoot me email at lenacebula@gmail.com, and I can send you a signed copy, or you can get amazon.ca, amazon.com. And if you want to get in touch with me, I'm in all social media. Just Google Lena Cebula, and I'm there because for the last 2 years I've been blogging and speaking
Mhm.
and I actually have my own podcast called Love and Be Loved. So I'm everywhere, definitely.
That is wonderful. And thank you so much for just sharing everything. Now I love the heart that you have for people, and especially people that are struggling and going through this. And, and it does take a lot of bravery to face the people and face your story. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because a lot of times we don't want to admit where we came from. We don't want to admit what we've been through, because we are afraid of rejection. But the thing is, what we go through is your platform to help somebody else through. Like, all the things that I've been through makes me a better counselor, because I can identify with the people that are going through it
Absolutely.
at that time. And like, I've got a sphere of influence that nobody else can touch. You've got a sphere of influence that nobody else can touch. So if you like sugarcoat your story, that might be the thing that will be like, she doesn't really understand what I'm going through. So like, when I share my story, I'm very graphic, I'm very transparent, and it's shocking to a lot of people, but it's the truth, and that's the thing. And when you can stand in the truth of who you are, that includes all of you. That includes where you came from, that includes where you are now and where you're going. So I'm so glad that you found who you are, that you're a shining example. And I'm so grateful that you are the very first guest on this show, Me Powered with Rhonda. And everybody, please support Lena. And I'll type in the comments to what her website is, and how to get her book and everything. But make sure you share this message, because you never know who is dealing with this, and that's another thing. It's not something that's wide out there, and somebody that you think is fine, they may not be fine, and they may be dealing with those things, those temptations, and somebody may be trying to lure them away and go into something that they don't really want to go into. So, you never know. Don't take it for granted. So I'm just so grateful that you're here and that you shared your story. And I want to I want to give you, we only got a couple of minutes left, but I want you to give me one thought to the person that's watching this right now, that you want them to know. One very brief thought. What do you want them to know about themselves right now? Somebody that's in this right now.
Well, honestly, that's what impacted me, and I want to pass it to you guys. You are significant, and your life is valuable. That's the most important thing. You are loved, and just have hope, and just don't give up. Just have hope.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lena. Yeah. And guys, whatever it is you're struggling with, Lena had brought so many topics up. There was such great information about trauma and dealing with the stuff, and you don't want to feel the stuff that you're going through. But, I can tell you this as a counselor and going through things myself, we have to feel in order to heal. That's your way out. And that's the thing that nobody wants to do, because you have to face the things that you did. I've had to face the mistakes I've made. I've had to apologize to my children. I've had to own up to what I've done in my past. And sometimes, the hardest person to face is that person in the mirror, because we get so used to lying to everybody, putting on this mask and this front to the world. We show up one way to the world, but yet they don't know that we're dealing with all this inner turmoil and inner things. So we're focusing this show on human trafficking. We're going to be doing a whole lot more shows this month. Now, this is a brand new show, Me Powered with Rhonda. It's going to air every single Tuesday right here on JQLM Radio, and 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you would like to be a guest on the show, just go ahead and send me an email to mepoweredwithrhonda@gmail, and I would love to hear your story. And don't be ashamed of your story. Let's get your story out there, and let's go ahead and continue to save lives, and to bring people together and show them that they have everything they need already inside of them to succeed, to get out, to be healed. And, we need you to share your story, because your story matters. Your heart matters. What you came through matters. And you don't have to be ashamed anymore. You don't have to be worried. you definitely have a home right here, and we will welcome you with open arms, and you'll be loved on and accepted by everybody else too. So I thank you guys for tuning in. I thank you guys for your support, and share this, share this, share this. And Lena, I'm just so grateful again that you're here, and I just want to thank everybody for tuning in this evening, and I hope that everybody has a great night, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next week at this same time, Tuesday, 6 to 7 p.m., and we will have another brand new show of Me Powered with Rhonda. Remember, everything you need is already inside of you.